Hello everyone, how's it going? I am back with another message need to hear right now. Let's hop right into it and find out what message your angels have for you today. From the jump, I am hearing that you got people noticing and talking about the fact that you are not revealing much information about yourself to anybody. You guys have seriously pulled back your energy. I feel like for some of you in the collective, it is something you're consciously doing because of evil eye and just wanting to figure yourself out within your own energy. But for a lot of you out there, it's actually just natural to you that you decided to just focus on yourself and limit the chatter of others around you. It doesn't even matter if this is intentional or not. What I'm hearing is that this has been a spiritual shift that you guys have gone through because of the growth and the work you're doing on yourself. I do feel as well that some of you felt the need to explain yourself to people to make others feel comfortable, but a lot of you are realizing that no matter how hard you tried, people are always going to question the things that you're doing. Some people don't have the best intentions when they're listening about your life or even giving you advice. So again, I feel like you're going through a shift where God, your angels, the universe wants you guys to just operate within your own energy and trust your intuition and limit the chatter and whatever else anyone else has to say. But there are a few people that are actually pressed and triggered by the fact that you're not revealing information about yourself because they have no access to your energy. And I am picking up on coworkers and even exes, people from the past that benefited off of figuring out what you were up to because maybe they were copying you, or for some people out there, they really had more access to your energy and even able to drain you because of what you were putting out there. So keep up the good work. Some of you are making moves, shifts, changes. Some of you are even in a new location and chose not to tell anybody just to protect your peace. So again, what I'm hearing is no matter what you have going on, you don't need to reveal information to people about your life. And I feel a lot of you have gotten used to being seen as standoffish or rude because you want to protect your peace and you care more about being in the energy you're meant to be in than other people's opinions of you. And again, what I'm hearing as well is that you guys have been releasing people-pleasing tendencies because at the end of the day, sometimes people will get hurt or frustrated that you don't share with them certain things, but it really isn't their business. So let's hop into it a little bit more and see who is getting pressed and triggered by the fact that you've pulled back your energy. We also talk about this a lot. You guys are my light workers, my healers. Your energy is very addicting to people. And at times, people will find that they're going to get angry and upset that they don't have access to it anymore, like a drug almost. So let's see who is coming through today. We got toxic love. Of course, this could be an ex or even a past friend that was always in toxic relationships or didn't know how to handle their romantic relationships properly. What I'm hearing is that you got somebody here who, because you pulled back your energy from them, they're finding themselves in even more toxic situations. And I'm hearing codependency. So again, collective has elevated to this place where you guys can even handle anyone being codependent on your energy. And a lot of times people who are codependent find excuses to hit you up or to talk to you. And I feel in the past, sometimes you guys revealed information to these people just out of courtesy because they're always checking in every day. But you guys are realizing that not every day you have something to say to these people anymore. So there was a relationship in your life that you guys kind of faded out in a natural way, and you may not even realize that that person was getting so much from your minimal interactions, but the truth is that a lot of people do. So again, continue to protect your energy, but let's see more about this particular individual. The message today was kind of crazy because what I'm hearing is that you actually have certain people getting to the point of mental breakdowns or even crashing out because they have no idea what you're doing and what you're up to. And we've definitely talked about this a lot in the past where you guys have had people so addicted to your energy, but so in their ego that they refuse to let go. And I do feel that some of you have blocked out these people. So of course they're going to feel like they're spiraling out of control. But for some of you, these people are just in their ego and they were hoping to run into you accidentally, I'm saying in quotations, or they were hoping for a chance to figure out what you were doing or what you were up to without having a proper conversation with you, which is actually quite intrusive is what I'm hearing. So yeah, you guys have definitely limited people intruding onto your life, and you have people in your life that definitely understand this. And what I'm hearing as well is that you've had people tell others that are complaining about this new version of you that they feel left out, so on and so forth. But there's definitely people defending you saying collective has always been this way. They've always been private. They go through periods where they're outgoing and sharing a lot, and then they go through periods of introspection. I'm actually hearing as well, there's somebody who, since you guys pulled back your energy, maybe you're not doing as much as you used to. And again, some of you are content creators, but you've limited explaining to people why you're doing things. Maybe you're still posting a lot, but maybe you're not posting your location as much, or maybe you're not just explaining why you're doing things. I'm hearing you guys are communicating in just more of a matter-of-fact way and not in an over-explaining yourself way. And it's definitely got somebody here kind of pissed off because they benefited from that side of you that basically was unsure of yourself And I'm hearing as well that there was a time where you guys wanted to ask other people's opinions about big decisions in your life. And even if you had your mindset on something, you decided to just limit anybody else's opinion because you realized that some certain people's opinions don't matter. As a matter of fact, nobody's opinion matters but God and your intuition, right? So yeah, there was a decision that you guys had made and this person feels like you left them out of it, which is crazy because it's your life, right? So I'm hearing you guys are calling back your power. There's so many different energies coming into today. I'm going to zero in on this toxic love. And yeah, it's interesting enough because you have been around a certain person where they didn't really even know who they were because their toxicity was their life, you know? So there are certain people out there who like don't even really know what they like or don't like because they're always adapting personality traits from other people or adapting the personality of the person they're in a relationship with. And you had somebody who was doing that. So basically it was like being around you was their personality or at least something that made them look cool or raise their value one way or another. So when you guys block this person out, they lost an aspect of themselves or they feel that way, but really it was the energy they were stealing from you. So keep up the good work. But of course, you guys have let this go. You're moving on with your life. Some of you, this is just unintentional. You're just moving forward and focusing on other things. Again, what I'm sensing is that collective here, you guys went through a transformation where you couldn't keep up with everyday tasks in life. So you really had to pull back and focus on what's important to you. Some of you, it was a physical change or health issues. Things started to happen in your life because you were being called to change and transform. And there were certain people that just had to go. And not only that, when you ascend, things that you were used to energetically become toxic for you. So again, this is a person that being around them could have made you anxious or sick or feel like you needed to take a shot because their energy was so crazy. Yeah. And I also feel as well that some of you have realized when you're around certain people, you may even pick up their habits or behaviors. Like you may not be a smoker, but all of a sudden you feel like you need a cigarette around them. Again, you can actually absorb a lot of people's issues and problems. By the way, if you drink or smoke cigarettes, this is not about that. It's just more about the fact that is an example, right? Like certain people have also habits like they're codependent and you started to feel like you were a little codependent, but really you're absorbing that person's energies because there's this idea, and some of you guys understand this, that certain people have energies or spirits around them that carry these energies or frequencies. So when you're around those people, those energies become your own, right? And a lot of you, if not all of you, are also aware of monitoring spirits. So that's why you decide to, when you're in your morning walk with your neighbor or when you're at work, not discuss big things in your life, especially things that you hold a lot of value to or future plans or your goals or dreams. So for them, it might feel like, oh, why are you not sharing with me? Why are you being secretive? Why are you being weird? But you're like, it may not even be that person you're discussing it with. You're afraid of the energies that are around that can't absorb this information. And again, you got certain people saying that you act paranoid or weird or strange. And we all know paranoid people. That actually comes from fear. But this isn't a fear-based message. You guys are actually in your power right now because you're like, yeah, I don't feel like sharing with you, so I'm not gonna. There's no fear attached to it. It's just more like, it's not really the conversation I want to be having right now. I just want to focus on work. And yeah, the funny thing is that you guys are still very popular. And because you pull back your energy, it's almost raising people's desire to be around you. And of course, you got certain people that are pressed about that you guys can pull back your energy and still be someone that is highly sought after. And it's almost because, again, your energy is very addicting to people and you're not coming from a place of, I just want to be liked. I want to be seen. I want to be noticed. No, you want to be the person that God put you here to do. So amen to that. Okay. Keep up the good work. Yeah. So there's somebody who actually feels like they can't live without you. You have let go of this energy, but they have yet to let go of you. And the weirdest thing about this message is that this is somebody who you may not even realize has this energy on you. But again, when you cut people off or pull back your energy, pay attention to how they act or pay attention to your dreams if this person is not contacting you. Because what I'm seeing as well is that people can have toxic addictions and patterns, but also have an ego. So they want to appear evolved. And that's one of the types of people that you guys have to watch out for, especially my spiritual people out there who are very smart, but often second guess yourself. Like you guys have this gift of knowing, but sometimes you're like, maybe I'm having the off day, or, this person seems like they're smart. They seem like they're doing the work. Certain people, they have adapted therapy speech or ways of presenting themselves that look like they're grown, but you have to be careful because like I said before, these people are the chameleons who don't have personality. So if you sit with them and like, wow, I had a great conversation with God today. I was praying, went to church today, or you're telling them, oh, I just got, whatever. I just read the best book. I was journaling last night. They'd be like, oh, me too. Yeah, I should get a journal. But they're going to present to you like they're doing the work or they care about doing the work when in reality, they're stealing your identity to make it look like they're doing the work so they can actually basically keep going the way they can benefit off of the things that you guys say. And it doesn't have to be that type of stuff, but you get what I mean? Like, certain people benefit off of absorbing things that you guys are doing, places you guys are moving, the types of people you're dating. Like, you guys would be surprised how many times in my life I start dating somebody and I just say, okay, yeah, this person is, we're just giving an example. Oh, this is a firefighter, right? Like, I've never dated a firefighter, so this is, just an example. And then I might tell a friend, right? Oh, I'm dating a firefighter. And next week they're like, oh, I'm going on a date with a firefighter too. I just matched with them on Hinge. Just like, you didn't just agree to go on a date with a firefighter because I want to date with a firefighter, right? Like, but there's people who actually like that. They see that things work for you and they're like, I want to do that too. And it is quite strange. Again, maybe it's taking inspiration, maybe it works out, but that's not the point of this message. So, maybe people actually loved hearing you guys tune in every week to your dating stories or your life. And some of you benefit off of that. Maybe you are a content creator, right? But you've learned how to tell stories like in a way where people can't really do this to you as much or pinpoint the energy, or you're being a little bit more ambiguous or less direct with what you're doing or where you're going or who you're doing it with. And you found ways to still put yourself out there in this world without over revealing yourself or letting any other energies affect the way you view your relationships. Another thing as well, it'd be one thing if you guys share these stories with certain people and they cheered you on, but there are certain people, and you guys know this, you shared a story about a date you went on with them or something else going on in your life, and they have something negative to say about it, or they put a little seed in your head like, yeah, that person was that sounds off, that's a red flag. And even if you guys can brush that off, it's like a seed of negativity somebody planted into a budding relationship. So again, you guys are realizing that pulling back your energy and protecting your peace is the best thing for you guys to do. And whether you're doing a move or a job change or dating or just plain going through a glow up, you don't need to document every single point of the process. Some of you are just the type where you go ghost and then you pop out different, and that's what gets people pissed off and pressed. And some of you are the type, maybe you are fitness coaches, you do document every part of the process, but they don't really need to know everything, right, about your life. Like, some of you are like well known, but there are certain things about you that people don't even know about you. Like, for example, you don't make it your whole personality. Some of you guys are married with kids, but you post and you don't even put your kids or your relationship out there for protection purposes. And people are so surprised when they hear that or find that out. And then you got some haters here who are like, oh, they must be embarrassed of their husband or their kids or whatever. And you're like, actually the complete opposite. I love these people enough not to pimp them out or use them for views, right? Like, or use them on my Facebook to compare and contrast lives with other people. Like, you guys don't care for that. So you actually are better off or even enjoy people thinking the opposite of you because you like it better to keep your stuff private. Like, yeah, let people think that I'm broke, I have nothing going on, I'm single, so they don't evil eye the things that I value or the relationships I value. And when people put themselves out there in a way where they're opening up their marriage or their children or their life to criticism unnecessarily, it makes me think, do they even care about like these people they're putting out there like that? So that's what I'm hearing, right? You guys have learned to just let go of what people think or not care if people think you don't have much going on. But the truth is that people know that you do, and you guys know that people know that you do have great things going on. And that's why you are even more seclusive these days. This is what I'm hearing, okay? Messages are coming through very strong today, guys. Me versus me. Yeah. One thing that pisses people off about you guys is that your only competition is yourself. But unfortunately, people see you as competition. And if you're living a certain lifestyle, people want to emulate it and copy it. And you guys are realizing, I'm going to do this then in the healthiest way possible. And again, if your work, like you're a life coach or something where your job revolves around, it's okay for people to want to emulate what we have going on. You're trying to teach people how to be the best them, right? So you're doing better at basically not giving people directions on how to be more like you, right? That's what I'm hearing. Not that you guys ever did. If anything, it was more like when you had clients or people that you knew casually, like you're realizing that sharing too much about yourself may not be a good thing for these people because they take the life that you're living and think that they can live it too. But no, everybody has their own truths and their own things that are best for them. And one thing I know about my collective here, this collective is not for everybody. So by the way, if you guys just found yourself here, welcome. You are part of a collective of souls. I always said this, even with my first channel, you guys check out my pick a card reading. I did one recently, but I always say this, my work is for other teachers and healers, right? So not everybody's going to relate to these messages. And I think you guys understand that too. When you have clients and stuff, like although you relate on some level to these people, they're still coming to you as a student and you the teacher. So you have to be careful about those boundaries, about what you reveal. And also sometimes some of you are so vulnerable and so down to earth that you sometimes reveal to these people things that you're struggling with in your own life as a way of learning, but they will take and twist the things you guys tell them and use it against you. And you guys realize that too as well. In professional environments, it's better to keep things like very professional, right? Like, although everybody's your friend, we're all God's children, certain people are just not your friends. And if you've been here a while, you guys know I always say this. I'm not here to make friends. I make friends very easily, but I'm not here to make friends, right? I'm here to make a difference. And I don't really care about, people's feelings when it comes to what God put me here to do, because usually their feelings getting hurt is more their ego, right? So you guys are realizing that, people who come to me for help are not my friends, unfortunately, right? They could turn into friendship later on, but you have to realize the power imbalance is there too as well. So yeah, I'm hearing that maybe there are a collective group of souls here that you pull back your energy from a group that you were teaching, or you stop revealing so much about your life to your students or to even people you guys are dating. Like on the first date, you don't feel the need to say too much. You just let that person talk about what you guys want to talk about, or you spend your time talking more about ideas or concepts or things that you're passionate about, right? Like I feel that you guys are realizing you leave the deep stuff to the people that actually care. Because how many times you actually open up to somebody and they end up just being not the greatest person? You're like, well, I wish I didn't even tell them all that about myself because they didn't even care to hear it. Another part of the session I'm hearing as well is that you guys have realized straight up how many people don't even listen to you when you talk. Like, I know collective, you guys have been through it. You've been that shoulder to cry on. You have friends. You know every single person they dated, their birthdays, their charts, about, their whole dating history, where they've worked the past 7 years, their family, their mom's name, whatever, but they never even cared to ask you these questions about yourself. Or when you did go to talk about certain things you had going on in your life, they never listened. And this is the second part of this message, what I'm hearing. You pulled back your energy because you realized that this person didn't care anymore, or didn't care at all to hear about what you guys had going on. They were so wrapped up in themselves that they only notice now that you're not giving them much of anything, right? And this isn't to even penalize this person. You're not being petty. You're not playing games. You just got tired and you're like, what's the point of meeting up or talking or being on the phone if you don't even care to hear about what I have going on? And yeah, and some of you, it's like the constant same old problems and BS that you've heard 12 times over and over again in their lives, whether it be coworkers or exes or even dating. Maybe you guys pulled back your energy and started dating a certain person, but stopped because you realized that they couldn't even remember the simplest things about you, but you were always, ready to listen to them. Ready ear, I'm hearing. You're not people's therapist, And even if you guys are actually a therapist, you don't have to be someone's therapist in your personal life. And that's more the reason why my healer is here, that when you're outside the workplace, you want to do less of that. You actually want people you can sit down and decompress and for a second or get some advice, God forbid. Those people are out there. People actually do want to genuinely be around you and help you guys. So what I'm trying to say is, collective, you may have a hard time keeping friends due to your own pickiness, but you don't have a hard time making friends. If anything, you guys have gone through a lot of BS friendships, relationships, coworker situations where it made you think that good people weren't out there. But the truth is that sometimes the lower vibrational people get attracted to you or pursue relationships with you guys first. Wow, I'm talking really fast today. That's how you know the message wants to come through. But yeah, I feel that, the toxic people sometimes see what you guys have to offer and latch onto you. And then they demand so much of your time and energy that you guys don't have time or space for new friends or other friends or balance. So then when one person in your life, whether it be through dating or through work or through friendship, burns you out, you're left feeling like, what's the point of even making friends? But there are people out there who genuinely would love more of your energy, and you don't have to pull back your energy from them. You can actually sit and share with them what you have going on in your life with a non-judgmental lens. But you guys are realizing time and place, you gotta ease your way into these relationships, and you can't trust everybody with what you have going on. So this message has a few parts to it, but basically you guys are tired of just being in relationships with people where you feel gaslit, where you had a conversation with them or you told them something and they're like, no, you never told me that. Like, you guys are just tired of people just being so wrapped up in themselves that they're only noticed when you take them off Instagram or when you decide that that friendship was over. You're like, honey, that friendship was dead 5 years ago when you never asked me a single question about myself, right? Am I right? And I want you guys to comment below. I am worthy of people genuinely caring about how I'm doing. Hello, but I feel like a lot of you out there are so frustrated because you feel like people just don't. And I get that. I really do get that. I've definitely been called into one of the biggest introvert phases of my entire life. And honestly, it's pretty nice. It's pretty nice. I love my alone time. Don't get me wrong, but I'm always being called to, and you guys know this as well, connect with new people when you come out of these time periods, because there are great people out there. There are empaths and healers. Look at the comment section. A lot of people, down here will agree with this message, struggling in the same way you guys could be struggling. But I'm always saying this, my light workers and healers, like, it takes a little bit more effort to find those types of people. We're placed all over the world for a reason, right? Some of you guys may be expanding your search, or you are doing different things to meet different types of people. But one thing I'm hearing as well as a lesson for you guys is not to take so personally how shallow and how insecure and how weird people can be, because your light is something that people desire to be like. Even though you guys may not feel that confident in yourself all the time, whether it's due to just being humble or evil eye, like, you do have assertiveness and a self-assuredness of yourself that people really desire. I'm laughing at myself because you guys get what I mean. I make up words sometimes when I'm channeling, but you get what I mean. There's so many times I will watch back a video and I'm literally like jumbling my words, and you guys are so nice, like, never even correct me because you get what I'm saying. I'm channeling a million miles per minute. Also, my people out there who also do some sort of channeling or have those type of abilities, you guys know also when you're writing how sometimes you spell wrong and stuff. It's so weird, but when your mind is like on a different circuit, it's like using a different different part of your brain, right? But anyway, yeah, that's something too as well. See, I'm explaining myself over here, and I've had friends in the past that if I type something wrong, like in a caption, they'd be so excited to call me out. Oh, you spelled this wrong. Meanwhile, like, there was a time I spelled something wrong in my title and none of you guys even said anything about it. Maybe one person said something, and then people in the comments were like, oh, leave her alone. I was like, no, it's fine, guys. You can correct me. I'm okay with that. Okay. Actually, if I'm embarrassing myself, like, if my grammar is just terrible, you can correct me. I'm okay. But the point was that I'm like, oh, my collective, you guys are just like me. Like, you got what I was trying to say, so you didn't feel the need to nitpick, or some of you didn't even notice the error because you're here for the message. You're not here to nitpick, right? And you're realizing that certain people constructively help you, but there's certain people out there who just want to be right. And one thing I want to say as well is people are pressed because you guys are the friend that can call something out and be right. And then there's people who want to match your energy, but not in a good way. They're trying to be like, honey, you need to work on this because you're being honest with them about something. But in reality, their advice is shit. Like, and I'm not saying that to be like to say that you guys can't get good advice. There are friends out there you definitely could go to for advice, but there are certain people that just want to be seen as that great advice giver, that they're going out of their way to give unsolicited bad advice. And you guys are the type that you're not meant to really be outsourcing advice. You're meant to be reading and studying and observing and using your intuition, talking to God, but you're not meant to be going to another person for all of the advice that you need in your life. So there has been times where you guys have had someone in your life where you used to bounce ideas off of or ask what they thought about things, but you went through a shift where you stopped doing that as a whole. And there's definitely certain people who are like, this person used to update me or ask me what I thought. And now they're just going and doing things without telling me. You're like, I decided I'm just going to trust my own gut with that. And whenever I have people or friends or you guys telling me that, like, sometimes you guys will, and by the way, if you guys want a question answered by me, I do that on my channel memberships. On this channel right here, okay? It's the only place I'm answering questions right now. And sometimes you guys be like, I have a question. Never mind, Alice, I figured it out myself. And I'm like, good, I don't want any of you guys relying on me for every single month for your life decisions. If I'm doing that, then I'm not doing my job. My job is to get you guys stronger with yourself, with your connection to the universe, God, your angels, your own confidence, your own self-love, so that you can make these decisions yourself. But there are times where we can't see clearly ourselves and we need someone else to pull our asses out of it. I get that, right? Or there's times where you want a second opinion. Here I am. But never should my advice be your end-all, be-all. And be very wary of those type of teachers, mentors, coaches, therapists. Oh my gosh. Is it a retrograde? I literally been saying that for like a straight 2 months. It's like, no, Alice, you're just exhausted. I took a little bit of a break, this month. If you guys been noticing, my readings are timeless though, but, I did not abandon you guys. Sometimes, I just need to pull back my energy, but it is funny. It does kind of relate to this because of the fact that there was a time in my career where every time I needed a break or I was doing something or a shift or a move or a change, I felt the need to announce it to everybody. And I thought that was just courteous, but I realized that at this point in the game, I don't even have the energy to do that. Sometimes all I have the energy to do is rest. And I started this new way of doing live shows, which I love, but it does expose me to a lot more energy than what I'm used to. So there are times where I'm just down and out. And I know a lot of you guys agree with this. You're in this new energy where you're putting yourself out there. That is taking every ounce of energy that you got in confidence. The last thing you need is other people's opinions or to explain what you're doing to everybody along the way. When you grow, you just simply don't even have the energy for that. Or when you mature, you just realize that other people's validation isn't a real thing. It doesn't really make or break your situation. And even when it comes to creating, I've had people or friends be like, oh, my family never followed my page or supported me, only a few. Okay, I have 1 or 2 family members, follow my YouTube channels when I just started, but I honestly deleted all my social media that connected me to my past. I started new and fresh. I didn't even have social media when I started YouTube, and I just started posting a video, and guess what? The people came, the people somehow came. I knew nothing about tagging or algorithms, but that's what I'm saying. Or on this channel, I just consistently kept, showing up, and then eventually the messages found the right people. And that's what you guys are realizing. You don't need to over promote, push, even if you guys are selling your products, a little effort each day, consistency. And then if you're doing a good job, that will speak for itself, and let God do the rest, right? And that's what I'm hearing, You guys have worked hard enough, so let God do the rest. And I think you guys have pulled back your energy from people that you realize did not have trust in God and the universe. They were pushing too hard or trying to scam or doing things in a way where you're like, I don't want to do it that way. I think I'm going to do it my way. And that bothered people. So you got somebody here who you decided to not do business with or work for or share any work information with. And you realize that also there's certain people, when you're giving them updates about your life, they just think of it as tea to go share with other people. And you're like, no, absolutely not. And it's funny because you guys know those people on Instagram that always feel the need to show everyone how amazing their life is, how luxury everything is. Those are the people I feel like sometimes have something to prove. It's like the opposite with you guys. People are just assuming you're living in amazing luxury and life is going well for you, because you just give off that energy where you just seem to have yourself figured out no matter what it is you guys have going on. And a lot of you are like, when I'm on vacation, I actually want to enjoy it. I don't want to get evil-eyed, you know what I mean? So you just stop posting and doing certain things. Maybe some of you guys are just in a little bit of a hiatus, and you will pop in or pop back out when you feel ready. But it's no matter what you do, people try to copy it. So if you went on a social media break, maybe you had a friend or other people that are like, I'm going to go on one too. And you're like, okay, Sometimes being what you guys are, and I get this, can be exhausting and also borderline creepy. And you just felt the need to just protect your energy even more. One thing I feel for collective too is your sensors of the weird behaviors have been heightened so that you can really clean house for this next amazing, beautiful cycle you guys are about to enter. So don't second guess if you feel like someone's acting weird or moving weird or responding to you weird or just being straight up weird. Yeah. And I don't mean it in a good way. I mean, I'm an Aquarius, so I don't mind when people call me weird, but I mean weird in the bad way. So I was joking around about that with my channel members. I was like, not weird good, but weird bad, You're realizing you love yourself so much that anything weird, bad, it's just bad for you guys at this point. You're like, you used to forgive people's quirks and just be like, okay, maybe they're just a little lost, or that's cute, they're copying me. But now you guys know that a lot of this is rooted in something a little bit more weird and sinister, and it can't escalate to something that you just don't want it to be, okay? Broken promises and closure. Right. So there's a situation where, because I am getting that somebody here is bordering mental illness or even mental breakdowns or crashing out because they realize that you're not coming back for closure, nor do you want it or need it. You've evolved to the point where you have given yourself the peace that so many people have robbed from you, or you thought you needed from them, but you didn't need it, I'm feeling like you guys have realized, since certain people have been out of your life, you thought you needed to communicate with them or be like them to understand you. But the truth of the matter is that these people often were committed to misunderstanding you. So that's what I'm hearing. I got a little distracted by the mailman outside. So let's see what else. Yeah, I feel like, that could be a sign for something. You guys could be just getting good news and not really needing to share it with people. Getting approved, new house, new job, I'm hearing as well. So I'm hearing you're getting approved things. And it's when things go well, you just are why let any other energy affect it. But yeah, there's definitely, okay, all I want to do is talk about the good things going on, but there's someone else's energy just coming in here. It's someone from your past. And it's like, yeah, the truth is that they wanted your energy. They wanted you to go to them for approval, or they wanted you to care about their opinion about things so that they can add this energy of conflict or even compare or compete with your life. And I do feel for some of you, this is an ex or something where they tried to end off the situation where they can end on a win or block you or be the first one to do whatever. And because of someone's behavior being so off and weird, you guys just decided to just close the door. And you're like, as a matter of fact, I'm going to close this whole chapter. And that can mean something different in a lot of your situations, but it's almost to the point where you're like, not only do I never want to see this person again, but I don't even want to be in this town anymore. I don't want to be in this city anymore, whatever. Like something has triggered you, or I don't even want to post here anymore. I don't even want to explain myself to anybody ever again. Like it could be more spiritual, as in like, I'm never going to, go outside myself for advice again. I'm going to trust my gut. Some kind of ending in your life caused you guys to just close out a whole cycle of even being accessible to anybody in a certain way. And it has gained you guys the confidence to go out and do some stuff in your life that you never thought possible. And you're carrying this energy into the new chapter of your life. So even when you run into weird type of people and the weird bad type of people, you're like seeing the signs already of when they want you to pine for their attention, when they want to play games, when they pull back their energy, not because of peace, but because they want chaos, right? They want manipulation, or people who come back in your life just to confuse you and leave again, right? You guys are realizing what they're doing. This isn't about closure. This is about keeping you stuck on a cycle. And you've had somebody in your life try to come in or come back to announce their departure. You're like, you were already gone, honey, like you were never really here. And you guys didn't feel the need to announce your departure because, like I said before, they were never truly there. Even when they were there, they always belonged to somebody else, or in a spiritual way, like their family's expectations of them, or third parties, or whatever, or their addictions. Like you realize that when you lose friendships or an ex like this, or whoever this relates to, or multiple people, which I'm seeing 5 here. There's actually be a bunch of people coming into this message today. When you lose this type of people and you heal, you realize how much your life was lonely even with them around. So yeah, that's what I'm hearing. You ended a chapter. You're finally free. And there's a door that you guys have closed that you're not looking back on. And I think this change has triggered you guys into just showing up completely different in your life and completely depriving an energy vampire or a few energy vampires of something that they felt like they needed from you. And you've deprived a lot of people of your energy lately, and it's triggering a lot of people. And the talk of the town, or whatever it is you guys are doing, or the internet, or whatever you guys are posting, or wherever you guys are known, or your family, whatever, right? Wherever the toxicity lies, which is pretty much a lot of different places. You guys are like, people are saying that this goes back to the last message I did a couple days ago. I think it was Thursday. Again, my readings are timeless. Like, you have some mysterious aura right now that it's actually driving people insane and attracting people to you even more. So again, I would not be surprised if certain people try to hit you up, but the truth is that a lot of you guys have been leaving people on red, and it's not even a game or one up anybody the way these people would do it. It's actually just like you guys just being on a level where you just don't really feel like interacting. It doesn't feel good. Don't want to do it. You've grown past it. But it's funny. I want to say this too as well. There's a certain person, their behavior made you realize, okay, this is really over. So maybe you were the one who reached out to them to let them know, whatever, right? Maybe you were the one who did that. But the truth of the matter was that this person may have left you on red, or told you they were done with you, or broke up with you, or ended things with you to one-up you. It wasn't actually true closure. They wanted you to crash out. They wanted you to be hurt over them. They wanted you to chase them more. They wanted you to fight, or they wanted you to feel the pain that they thought that you made them feel. It was more of an ego thing than an actual closure. So you actually saw this person's behavior as, okay, I'm really going to close the door now and move on, heal, and you did. And you basically padlocked that door shut. You're like, okay, that's it. Never am going to allow anyone to make me feel like this again. Or you even doubled down or second guessed yourself to get on this person's level to see if they wanted to communicate or make peace on your way out. And they decided to choose war or silence or leave you on red. And it wasn't to heal or process. It was to hurt you. So you guys, regardless, you saw it as a sign that they didn't want to make peace with you. So you're like, okay. Or they wanted peace in their own way to move on. But the truth was, like I said, this person was just more attached to their ego at the time, but they actually triggered you into actually closing that door. And that's what's causing this person to crash out right now, because you are bouncing back, and it's not a bounce back that they can even compare notes to based upon what you're saying or doing or posting or whatever. It's an energetic bounce back that has made your energy so inaccessible to them. So again, keep up the great work, guys. That's all I want to say about that. All right, let's see as well. Yeah, you're no longer allowing yourself to be distracted. Whatever these people are posting, saying, or doing, it's beyond you. And yeah, something's telling me you guys went on a blocking spree or a deactivation spree, or you just plain don't open apps anymore, or you don't go certain places anymore. You don't talk to certain people anymore. You don't even care to check in with certain people because your energy has elevated you into a new environment. You're prepping for something new. And again, this isn't like something that a lot of you are even realizing that is happening to this capacity because, yeah, you may have decided to lock in. You decided to focus on yourself. You decided to focus on rest because of other things going on. You decided to better yourselves as you always do. But there was something that went on that was completely an energetic shift that made these certain energies off your radar, off your thought pattern, off your whole processing of being. And that's why these energies are going crazy because they are popping up in your dreams or they're talking about you, thinking about you. And it's almost like a light went out. Like it's almost like your energy feels like it doesn't even exist anymore to them. So maybe you guys have been doing cord cutting, cleansing, praying, whatever you're doing, it's working. Keep up the good work. And if you have moved or made a shift or a change, you're not announcing where you're going or what you're doing to people. And it's not to be mysterious or cool. It's just because you want peace. So again, when you guys do decide to say what you're doing or what you're up to or reveal certain things, it's going to be more in a controlled environment or with people you trust. And that's amazing. And you guys are in a rebuilding chapter of your life. And you've left certain things out in the cold for a reason. And yeah, if you were to go back to these worlds, it'd be like you never left. As in, these people are just doing the same things, acting the same ways. And that's what I'm seeing. Got the Devil here, Seven of Swords, and the King of Wands in reverse. Yeah, and just because you guys have moved past and healed past certain things doesn't mean other people haven't. And there is a certain individual here that is going mad and crazy over here because you're just not around anymore. And also, you see how this guy's scratching his head? Like, he doesn't even know, like, the energy doesn't even know how to reattach itself to you. And that's where the crash out happens because, yeah, your energy was a life force for a lot of people. And a way of even hating on you was something these people used to get by because they were so dang lost. So, again, whatever you're doing, it's working. And, yeah, I'm seeing the crash out, but you're just slowly and surely getting yourself to where you need to be. And God is moving you guys to a place where you can be happy, you can shine, and you can be yourself in a more safer environment. Because I think that, again, you've outgrown a certain lesson in your life and you're at the place where that pattern is not going to repeat itself because you learned your lesson. Family wishes come true. I see a lot of good things happening in your life. Do not back down from opposition, show strength. You guys are realizing that, yeah, you got to just show strength and keep it moving. And a lot of you guys are not even showing if you were going through a dark phase or somebody did affect you. You didn't really give them what they wanted. You didn't give them any type of sign that they had any effect on you. Maybe they didn't, you know. I think a lot of your transformation had nothing to do with other people. It was simply spiritual, triggered by events in your life, right? Someone's going out of your life, plenty of material things. And removing certain people from your life has tripled your abundance, guys. I'm hearing tripled. So if it hasn't happened yet, you're headed towards that. And you realize you're away from people that presented like they were your friends, but really wanted conflict or to make you feel left out in the cold. Somebody tried to do that to you and you took it as a wake-up call to just remove that energy from your life and never go back. And that's exactly it. I hear that you guys are bouncing back and you're looking good. So again, if you haven't watched my message about how you guys are mysterious because you don't reveal much about yourself, this definitely kind of ties into it because even more so than ever, you guys would think when you had your glow up and you're showing so much of yourself, that would be where people are going feral over you. But it's actually now how selective you guys are in showing up certain places, being around certain people. And even if it's a workplace where you guys are being seen every day by the same people, you're not making information about yourself accessible. There's just something about you where you're realizing that you have to be selective in this world if you want to save some energy for the things that matter. And as a light worker and a healer, you guys get drained very easily. A lot of you guys out there actually hate this fact. You feel like you can't keep up with the everyday life. But the truth is that you can't keep up with the everyday fake stuff or the stuff that isn't for you, right? So don't be sad that you can't make it to certain events because you're too drained. Just be blessed that God is protecting you and actually saving you the space and energy for better environments where you can thrive, okay? So you are headed towards or where you can thrive, okay? So again, I won't even say, oh, be careful about people hitting you up or going backwards, because there is a door that has closed that you guys would not open if you were forced to. You're like, no, I'm not going back there. And that's where the true healing happens. Not when you're waiting to hear back from somebody, but when you're even wondering why they would even bother, because not a chance, okay? Not today, Satan, all right? So I hope you guys like that message, okay? And again, if you guys love live shows or want to hang out with me, you should check out my channel memberships. If you guys like pick a card readings as well as love readings, check out my first channel, my pick a card channel. I also uploaded a new subliminal on my Patreon. If you guys like manifesting, check out my subliminal channel. Also, on my Patreon, I have collectives, pick a cards, all that. I like to let you guys know what I have going on, because sometimes you won't see me as much on my channels, but sometimes I go a little hermit and post for the smaller groups or the membership so that I can have the energy to function, right? Because sometimes when I put myself out there like this, I get hit pretty hard. You know, anybody can watch my videos. So, you know, same message for me that you guys can relate to out here. You know, it's not that you're trying to be selective. It's just that you have to protect your peace sometimes. And you guys will understand that too as well. So don't feel guilty if you got to go hermit sometimes, even on the people that you love. Being a light worker and a healer and spiritually gifted means you're going to need solitude, right? I feel like everybody's called to it, but some people will never relate to that because God's never called them into that. But seriously, you guys can't relate to that either, right? So why even explain solitude and talking to God to someone who doesn't care for it, you know? Or why talk about protecting your energy or peace to somebody who is addicted to drama, right? And they'll all say they agree with you, but the truth is that they just don't like when the stuff that they got themselves in hits the fan. That's ruining their peace, right? But they don't actually know what real peace is like. So again, be careful with people who learn how to talk but don't walk the walk, right? All right, love you guys. I'll see you guys all next time, and you're doing great. All right, bye.